Hello everybody, welcome back to Modern Dentures. In this video we're going to be registering the bite. I've pre-warmed them up already. I tend to do this with a hot plate, but you can do it with a naked flame by just flicking over the areas just to soften them up. But the way I do it, it's on a hot plate, set to a certain temperature. What that temperature is I don't know because I don't have any dials or anything on there. And it just makes the wax nice and soft on the blocks of the registration block, but not the palate, so the palate stays as cool as possible. The other alternative that you can do is you can just put them in a bottle warmer and soften the whole thing up, but you will get a distortion in the palate. However, that's not usually too bad because you can correct it afterwards. So we're just going to pop this in. There we go. And if you just close together for me, all the way, bite into it, that's it. And open, that's it. Pop the top one in and close together again for me, all the way again. Excellent. So this is a nice easy one because it's partial. We can see where the teeth are meeting, and so we just make sure that we're closed all the way down into that occlusal. Just turn your head towards me. So when you're marking the centre line, always make sure that the patient's facing you and you're trying to get the centre line of the head, not of the lips. So you're not taking the incisive papilla or anything like that. You're doing it, you're supposed to do it interpupillary, so you're looking where the eyes are, the midline between the eyes, going down mid-sagittal through the face to then mark it, and making sure that the line that you're marking is also in the right place, because it's not just that it's in the centre, but the line is perfectly horizontal. Then I just mark the lip line, so where the patient's smiling, where that lip sits, I'm just marking that so we know, or the technician knows where the patient's lip line is when they're smiling, because that gives a good indication of to them how much of the tooth is showing. And then we just mark the occlusal line, making sure that that's level as well. And open for me, that's it. Just keep your lips nice and relaxed. The reason this one was difficult to get out is because of the way that the teeth are angled in. They're quite retroclined, and so when the wax is squashing in, it's just kind of locked everything in. The first thing I do when I've done the bite registration is put it back on the models, and then I can check to see that we are biting where I'm expecting the bite to be. For example, where we've got teeth here at the back, to making sure that they're actually touching, that they're occluding. Here again at the front we can see, and if we're not sure, we check with the patient's mouth, so just get them to close together, and then we're just having a little look and we're comparing it to what we've got here. If it looks different, take the wax off. This looks really good, this one, but you just take some of the wax off, warm it up and do it again, and keep doing it until you get it right. And then the next thing that I do with this front bit, now I've got where the centre line's marked. It's pretty much in line with the incisive papilla, however it's not in line with the incisive frenum, or the labial frenum, sorry. And it's not lining up 100% with the lower teeth as well, because the lower teeth, we've got one there that's set a little bit aside, a little bit of crossover. So what I'll do, with them both in articulation, I'll just heat my wax knife up, and I'll melt the bite block down roughly to where I want the teeth to go. What's happened with this one is the wax has come forward here, where we've bitten, it's squashed and it's moved this away, so there's a little bit of a gap there, but that's fine because we're going to change that anyway. Before I melt anything off, I just mark these lines on the model because I'm going to melt them. Usually you can still see them, but in this instance I'm just going to mark on the model as if there was a line running right through where that centre line is before I melt the wax off. If the models are really dry, before you do this, it's a good idea to wet them just to stop the wax, the molten wax, from sticking. You don't need to soak them, you literally just dip them and then dry the wax off. If you don't dry the wax off, it will spit at you because of the water. So now just using my wax knife. The reason that I've got the lower on there is that any of these drips, they're not going to drip onto the occlusal surface of the bite that we've just taken. And as you can see, because I've melted it down, I've lost that centre line now. I'm just going to put in the occlusal line. Back with my Lacron, which is cold, I can then line up where that centre line is with the marks that I put on the model. Just pop that back in, and I'm just from memory I'm marking where the smile line is. And that's how I register the bite. As you can see, I've moved it right back to where the teeth are going. I've not got any of the flange on there because that's not really important at this stage. The technician will just put the flange on, and on this one there won't be much of a flange anyway, I wouldn't have thought. Obviously this is the preliminary model, so it's a lot shorter than it will be. Hope you found that video useful, guys, and we will see you in the next video where we'll be designing the metal frameworks for this case. See you in the next one. Cheers. Bye bye.